What's up, vinyl community? It's Steve from Steve Spins Records, and today we're going to look at a record store day drop from last year in 2020 on September 26th. Nasir Jones, God's Son. So this came out, like I said, on the record store day, September 26th, drop of 2020. It is a 2 LP set with blue and white swirl, which we'll get to in a sec. It's got a high gloss jacket, which you can see under the shrink wrap there. I'll hold it up. There you go. We got Nas on the front, Nas on the back. Cool hype sticker on this one. And it's again from the Get Down label, from Get On Down, excuse me. And yeah, so the original album was produced and released in 2002. Came out in December of 2002, and it's Nas's 6th album. At the time, he was in a bit of a feud with Jay-Z at the time, and you know, a lot going on with diss tracks going back and forth between the two of those guys. Both of them from New York, so you know, close proximity there. The other thing that was happening in 2002 in Nas's life was his mother was passing away from breast cancer, and she ended up passing away in 2002. So a lot of that is the backdrop for what was going on in Nas's life and ultimately what made it into the album itself. Let's get out the album so you can take a look at what came in the package here. So it came with 2 picture inserts as well. I've moved the discs into MoFi sleeves, but we'll get to all that here momentarily. So let's look at, this is side A of disc 1. So again, you see that nice blue swirled, blue and white swirled marble. Let's flip this so you can see a little better. It's got the star on the label with the Nas logo in each of the points of it. And yeah, it's just a really nice looking record. It's a good sounding record. I've been spoiled a bit by the Tone Poets lately, so it doesn't sound as good as those, but it sounds pretty good, all things considered. It looks really cool when you're spinning it. Here are the picture sleeves. So you have that side, you've got this side, it's got some lyrics written on it. Kind of a cool, maybe behind the scenes look. The second disc looks exactly the same as the first, so I won't show you that. And then again, here you have Nas on the front. And then you've got essentially all of the production credits on the back of this sleeve here, which is cool. So that's that. Let's get to what tracks are on this. So side A, you've got Get Down, The Cross, which was produced by Eminem, which is kind of fun. Made You Look, which is one of the main songs from the album. Side B, you've got The Last Real Brother Alive. Zone Out featuring the Bravehearts, Hey Nas featuring Khalees and Claudette Ortiz of City High. Who else remembers City High? In fact, if you remember City High, why don't you give this video a like? And then also from side B was another kind of commercial song from it, which is I Can. Then side C, you've got Book of Rhymes, Thug's Mansion, New York featuring Tupac and Jay Phoenix. Again, another song that saw a lot of radio play back in the day. Mastermind and Book of Rhymes were both produced by The Alchemist. And then also on the rounding out side C, you've got Warrior Song, which features Alicia Keys and was also produced by Alicia Keys, which is fun. Then side D, you've got Revolutionary Warfare featuring Lake, Dance, Heaven, and that's it. That rounds it out. So Dance, I found out, has a sample from Leanne Womack's I Hope You Dance song on it, which you can kind of hear it in the beginning of the song, which is, you know, kind of a good cultural reference there for you. So the album itself, again, like I said, Nas's 6th album. He'd already made Illmatic at this point. He'd already made Stillmatic at this point, which are maybe his more well-known records, more critically acclaimed records. And then he comes out with this, much more personal, right? So you still get a lot of the same Nas. You know, the lyrics are phenomenal. His flow as a rapper is great. Which you hear throughout all of this. Is, you know, it's not like he's hit the pause button there. And it's, again, you know, it's for anyone who's really has a fond memory of the kind of late 90s, early 2000s hip-hop scene, or if you're into any of that music at the time, I'd recommend it for you. When I was looking up the critical reviews of the album, I saw, you know, Metacritic gave it an 81 out of 100, which, you know, is pretty good. And then I went on to see that Pitchfork gave it an 8.6 out of 10, which, again, also pretty good. I think they docked it a whole point for one particular song on here. I can't remember which one, maybe it was Zone Out. I can't. It was something like that. They were just like, yeah, if they'd just gotten rid of that song, it would have been a lot better. But you know, even 8.6 out of 10 for Pitchfork is still pretty good. However, there was a review written by a guy named Ta-Nehisi Coates, and Ta-Nehisi is best known, I suppose, for being an author, but then he came into my circle as a writer for Captain America, which I thought was really, really cool. And he also wrote the reboot of the Black Panther in the Marvel series, and again, just like a really well-known author, and he wrote a review of this album, which appeared in the Village Voice at the time, and the quote was too good, so I'm just going to read it to you. But he wasn't as thrilled with it as our folks at Pitchfork were. He says, and I quote, "Nas has abandoned his role as rap's foremost observer for the Ballad of the Learned Thug. Nas has rendered himself mediocre. At worst, he becomes a Tupac clone, content to contemplate hackneyed hip-hop maxims, like whether there is a heaven for gangsters. A more apt question is whether there's a heaven for a cliche, because several cuts on God's Son are begging for funerals." Yikes. That doesn't get you invited to many dinner parties, Ta-Nehisi there, so that's, I tell them how you really feel. That's one of those ones. But again, this one came out on Record Store Day. I saw it had, kind of a cool vinyl color to it. And, I remember the song, Hey, I Can, in Thug's Mansion, and I wanted to check out the rest of the album. So I picked it up on Record Store Day. I'm glad I did. It's a nice hip-hop album to throw into the mix. It's not the Illmatics of the world, but it's a nice kind of break from listening to jazz or rock or whatever that I've been listening to. I would recommend it, again, like I said, for anybody who's a fan of late 90s or early 2000s hip-hop, a fan of Nas. I think there's a lot of good Nas in the catalog out there, and this is part of that, right? So you probably go Illmatic, then Stillmatic, then maybe you look at this and consider it if you're into Nas. So that's my quick take of Nas's God's Son Record Store Day 2020. If you made it this far into the video, thanks for watching. Please give a thumbs up. It helps us find a way through the algorithm and get to the folks that actually want to see the videos. And if you want to see more videos about the records that we listen to and our take on them, just hit that subscribe button and hit the bell so you get notified when the videos come out. So that's it. Like I said, thanks for watching, and this is Steve from Steve Spins Records signing off.